All right, there you have it. Welcome into our WPRI and Fox Providence studios here in East Providence. I'm Ruthie Polinsky, joined by Ken Ryan, former Red Sox pitcher. Ken, how bad do you want to be on that field right now?
I'll tell you, you see the enjoyment, the fun, the team atmosphere. That's what it's all about, being part of a team like that, knowing the season that you went through, everybody doing their job and winning together as a team. I don't think there's a better feeling in the world than winning as a team, and that's a great example. We saw it there tonight.
That's exactly it. I just want to get your initial reaction, just that game. I mean, well, what a domination. Well, you
look at this team, they won 108 games. They were the best team in baseball, franchise record. Going into the playoffs, the question was the bullpen. Price. Sales, he healthy? How about the offense? Can they continue to hit and keep this going? They dominated this postseason. Dominated 11-3. I mean, they had one tough game in this World Series. They won 18 innings. They couldn't score any runs, but they came back in Game 4 and Game 5. And I'll tell you, a great win. And this is a team that's going to be measured as probably the greatest Red Sox team in the history of their franchise. I mean, this it's going to be, you know, you're looking at all the teams throughout the years, this is going to be one to probably the best of all time.
My next question, you led right into it. How do you measure this team against not just the last 4 Red Sox teams to win a World Series last 15 years, but maybe ever?
I think you look at, first of all, you look at the balance this team had. It had great starting pitching all year long. Okay, it had great defense, probably the greatest outfield they probably had in their franchise. And then offensively, I mean, 1 through 9, they could put 9 players out there that could just hit the baseball, and they were clutch. When the game was on the line, they turned it around. You look what happened after Game 3 and what they did last night to come back and score the runs after they were down 4-0. And it's been, I mean, Pierce took off. I mean, 3 home runs in the series, the MVP of the series, most valuable player, and Price. I mean, just incredible job that he did in this series. And I tell you, you just got my heart's beating for the guy, because there's so many people that had the questions about him, and he answered them all in this series.
He did, and we've talked about this a couple times since you've been here, just this World Series run, but it's something mental that clicked with him, right?
Definitely. I mean, it had to be. I mean, he doubted himself.
Right.
I mean, having all of these things on his and he was able to clear all of that. And I think his teammates, his manager behind him, you win because you're part of a team and everybody's behind you. And I think he felt that, you know, that everybody had his back and everybody had everybody else's back on this team all year long. But once he got his confidence, he wanted the ball. He wanted the ball tonight. He went out there tonight, 7 innings. 5 strikeouts. I mean, he dominated tonight. He looked great. Cutter looked good. Changeup, fastball. Couldn't ask any more from David Price. A
lot of people may be upset he's not your MVP. I mean, there were 2 guys that were really fighting for it there. They both wanted it. You could tell Steve Pierce came in, he was like, wait a second. I'm going to just hit another home run and just, you know, add to my case.
I put it away, I think. But he had a great series. I mean, 8 RBIs, the 3 home runs.
Unbelievable.
I mean, they could have been co-MVPs in this game. There's no doubt about it. But
what an interesting career for Steve Pierce, right? I mean, just kind of, this is for sure the peak of his career. But what, 35 years old and you're the World Series MVP at that age, and this is, you know, kind of your first major postseason appearance. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, 11 years. I mean, he's bounced from team to team. He's played in every American League East team in his career. But you look at his games played, 60 here, 50 here. You know, I had one year, I think he had over 100 games played. And then he gets an opportunity here late in his career to play for a team that has a chance to win a World Series, and he lived up to the moment. I mean, he contributed as much as anybody. Obviously, he's the MVP, but I talk about just taking that step forward and taking charge. I mean, he did it.
And we often talk about this actually with the Patriots, how the Belichick can bring in players and turn them into something that they weren't with another team. Do you think that's a similar situation here with Alex Cora and the management and the atmosphere that he created for these guys to be able to make something of Steve Pierce when he struggled in other places?
Well, I think it all starts with Cora. Yeah. I mean, to me, it starts with the atmosphere that he put on this team, and you know, the players, of course, but they bought into what his philosophy was, what he wanted this team to be, and how he wanted them to go forward, and they all accepted it. They all went out there, and to me, I mean, the MVP of this season is Cora. Yeah, I mean, the job that he has done with this team, there's no doubt about that. I mean, he has been unbelievable. The moves he's made in the postseason, during the course of the season, and it all came to this. And I think every player on that team respects Alex Cora, and you know, he has done so much for this organization.
Okay, I want to talk a lot about Alex Cora later on in the show, but we got to go to break really quickly. And